timestamp. Still May 8th, 2026. A little after 7 p.m. Did our errands. Pix is exhausted. Okay, so my girl is pretty much phobic of cockroaches. And they're disgusting. Gross little creatures. Apparently one attacked her last night, so she kind of had a hard time sleeping. Um, I'm laughing because she gets pretty reactive with them, but I know that she had a bad night. She was very, very tired, so we ran the errands, talked for a little while, and she went home. And while we were at her bank, I noticed this. They had, the screens advertising what they're doing, special features and stuff. And I realized, seeing it in print, it like clicked in my head that it's May 8th. It's my mom's 1-year anniversary. That kind of hit me weird. I'm at peace with it just because I know I did everything I could to try and fix things, make things better. In the end, a lot of what happened was results of her choices, just like everybody, right? I tried to intercede and got told no, so. But my mom has been gone exactly 1 year. And it did kind of like, hit me. It hit me, but at the same time, I'm strangely okay. I'm still tore up about Jinx, but I mean, I'm not sad. Not sad about my mom. It's just I guess it's getting easier. Doing some Dunkin' Donuts vanilla because wanted a little bit of a pick-me-up. I've got some of the vanilla macadamia, but I'm saving that for the moment. Some of the coffee I normally order is actually getting harder to find. Like out of stocks and things like that, which makes me wonder exactly what's going on there. I'm noticing more and more little things, that are normally always available that are available every other time I order, or oh man, back. Got dishes out, dishes in. You can hear it, I'm sure. But yeah, just some things that I would normally be able to order on the regular that it pops up as available like once every 2 weeks instead of pretty much every day. Or things that I could normally get like once a week, it would be out of stock frequently, I haven't seen for, a month and change. I don't know if it's because of the stupidity of Iran. Iran is not stupid. The war that we started that we did not need to start is stupid. Production problems, corporate greed, I don't know. But yeah, there are a few things that I would like to replenish that I can't, which is strange. Some of the coffee 6-packs that I would normally order. They haven't been available in a month or two. And now that I would like to restock, because I'm on my last, bag or two of said flavor, they don't have it. It's curious. I do not like it. extra, few bags on the shelf in the larder. That sounds so gross in American English, right? In the fatter larder. Sounds so much nicer in English. It's in the larder. How long's been gone a year? That means I've been here for a year. Supposed to blink twice, right? We're making good progress, but it's a mess here. So, and I know that's frustrating for myself, everybody, and I know Pix is getting a little impatient, but we knew going into this it wasn't going to be a 1 month job or 2 month job. Made a lot of progress. We've run into a lot of new and interesting hiccups because my parents, mainly my dad being unsupervised, has done a lot of, when I say damage, I mean that some things are broken and some things are just, the level of disarray was increased on a level that we did not expect. It's interesting because, my mom's office, which Tiny is currently camped in, stripped it, and Tiny is now, it's Tiny's room. We'd noticed while we were helping my dad, and Mom was pretty much in the hospital, that periodically my mom's office would be trashed. Papers thrown everywhere, boxes overturned, as though, it were ransacked by Stevie Wonder kind of thing. And what he said in front of the DCF agent kind of made me curious about this from a psychological standpoint. Because he said that, because he saw the little girl, and there's a little girl that likes to play in Mom's room. And she gets into stuff and plays with the papers and stuff like that. So, obviously that little girl doesn't exist. It's just interesting to me because because it had to have been my dad doing that, but my dad was blaming it on one of the hallucinatory people that he saw. And it's just interesting to me. It's like, okay, so you were doing these things in a fugue state, and then you either observed or assumed that it was this character that your brain created that was doing the stuff that, I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. It's just interesting to me. Basically blaming most of the shenanigans of missing things, missing things were the burglar, which he never was able to see. But there were also other people that he saw in this house, and I wonder if he had to have, based on that, I'm assuming, trying to make sense of madness here, he had to, in his own mind, blame the shenanigans that took place in those rooms on the people that he saw there. I'm guessing. There were a couple of teenage, low 20-something girls that would frequently sit on the couch in the living room and would sometimes try and hide in the living room, but he could see them. They weren't that good at hiding. He knew they were there. Sometimes they'd put towels or sheets or something over their head so that he couldn't see them, but he knew he could see shapes. He saw them in front of me one time, and there was like a small pile of laundry on the couch, but not enough for somebody to hide under unless they were like, a toddler. And I'm like, okay, are they under this laundry here? And I picked it up, and he's like, no, they're there. They're behind the couch now. It's like, okay, you're having a moment. I don't see him dead, But there's an old man in the garage. So maybe stuff that got moved around in the garage was this old man that my dad would see. I don't know, it's just kind of again, I'm trying to make sense of the madness, which is dementia. Good idea, Marcus. It's just trying to puzzle through it, kind of. I'm not really sure why I'm trying to do that. It's just caught me as curious. Because he's not remembering doing these things. Would that be a fugue state situation? I think. It's just like... Yeah, the man's got at least 4 holes in his brain, so... That's not me picking on, that's physical reality. There have been at least 4 stroke events where those holes wouldn't, exist. Not sure what parts of the brain and or what they affect, It's curious. I don't know. So yeah, I got some laundry going. I did the junk towels, which we have probably 3 batches worth. We shove a batch around the washer so that when it leaks, it catches a lot of the water. And then we wash those, put a fresh batch down, because after a few days it starts getting, eh. I did the junk towels. They're in the dryer currently. I've got some clothes in the washer. I'm going to take a nap here in a few. See if I can figure out the Blu-ray player TV combination. I think I'm going to pull out the classic. I've got the original series Star Trek and to see if there's... Because the Doctor Who was cool, but 2 episodes and then vamping. It actually woke me up a few times. I'm going to see if Star Trek... It'd be nice if it auto-played. So I'm going to see if the Star Trek has enough episodes per disc or if it auto-plays. You know what I mean? Because if it plays like the same 3 episodes in a row of Star Trek, if it, when it ends 3, goes back and starts playing 1 again unless you tell it no. Because I know some discs are programmed to do that. That's fantastic. You know what I mean? Let me listen to, it's my white noise generator. Let me listen to the same 3 episodes from season 2 tonight while I sleep. I'll probably hear each episode twice. And I might start a third, because I normally sleep about 6 to 8 hours. I might make it through 3 times, but that means I slept long for me. That'd be okay, as many times as I hurried home from school so I could catch it on channel 44. If you're a Hillsborough County-ish person from yesteryear, you understand that. It was a thing, man. Saturday, I tried to catch my Looney Tunes where I could, my Star Trek, and now I'll go mow lawns. I had my standards. Or I'm getting up really damn early, mowing a lawn, coming home, relaxing, watching Star Trek. Mom used to make sure that there was always cans of, like, pear halves. Love pears. But I usually sit down and watch Star Trek with a can of pears. Porter's has, whatever, just sit there and just slurp that right up. Watch Star Trek. Got some fruit, some fluids, rehydrated, go out and mow the next lawn. I was that kid. House sit, babysit, dog sit. Had a cop down the street that had two, was it Samoa? The really big, white, fluffy dogs. They're kind of almost a husky, but they're pure white and even fluffier. But cop down the street had a couple of those, and anytime he went away for the weekend, whatnot, he gave me the keys to his house. A cop gave me the keys to his house. I was the good kid. If that's not an indication, I don't know what is. I'm 12, 13, 14 years old, and the cop is giving me keys to his house so I can come over, let the dogs out in the backyard, make sure they're fed, bring the mail in, Yeah, I was that kid. Capricorn, man, at 12 I was a grown-up. I don't know if I might not have mentioned this before, but on one occasion, I think I was like 15 or 16, and he was like, yeah, I'm going away for the weekend. I think he was going to like Vegas with his girlfriend. 30-something. Decent dude. And he's like, if you get hungry while you're down here, there's food in the fridge, there's beer in the fridge. And I was like, as a point of interest, I'm 15, you're a police officer, and you just let me know that there's beer in the fridge. And he was like, grr. Yeah, maybe don't drink the beer. Don't drink the beer. And then he was like, if you do drink the beer, just don't tell me that you drank the beer, okay? And don't tell anybody that because, I'm like, no problem. Never really been a beer drinker, so. I do like Corona, but most beer, not really. I know, very, very non-German. Get over it. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Yep. Snacks, food in the fridge, beer in the fridge. Oops. Good times. Yeah, he paid really good. 15-year-old, all I had to do was go down like a couple times, go down Friday night after he left, make sure everybody was good, make sure the dogs went out, go back like maybe twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday, $100, $150. 15-year-old in 1985. Yeah, man. Pays to be the good kid. We had one jackass in the neighborhood whose name, unironically, was Dennis. Obvious nickname based on comic strips going on there as far as the parental, units in the neighborhood. But he was the guy that would put, cherry bombs in mailboxes and shit like that, He was not a fan favorite. Steal newspapers. Yeah, not real popular. He thought he was really funny, but not real popular. Feel bad, not bad for his parents, just because a lot of other parents got in their face over the years, because they lived there for years. And I know there were a lot of people that knocked on that door and were like, you better get control of your son. Riding down the street on a bicycle, nailing mailboxes with a hammer, baseball bat. You owe me a mailbox, No idea whatever happened to the guy. I expect he's either in jail or in politics. It's gotta be one or the other, right? Maybe he joined the clergy. Who knows? I don't know. Pretty sure my dad almost shot him one day. Skulking around the side yard where my dad had some car stuff, and my dad wasn't amused. We'll leave out the details, but a long time ago. Statute of limitations, you know. Did he threaten the guy with a gun? Yes, my dad threatened a 16, 17-year-old with a rifle. But he was on our property, so, and had to, like, get over a fence to get there. And the court can sort it out. Don't mess with my dad's Volkswagen stuff. He'll cut you, man. He'll cut you. You won't like it. It's a thing. But yeah, I'm going to check the washer dryer, health check wise. It's been an emotional week. But physically, I'm okay. Emotionally, mentally, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. Today is the 1-year anniversary of my mom's passing, and we buried a friend a couple days ago. So, every time I pour water, man, I don't have a black cat running into the kitchen. I've shown you guys him doing that. And I don't know that I'm going to ever see that again. And I miss it already. I don't exactly miss the bowl being scraped around the room, but the fountain fetish, I miss that. So. Hex has been getting a lot of extra scritches from me lately. And I make no apologies about that. And he's still kind of wandering the house a little bit, meowing, trying to figure out what's going on. I think he has more of a clue than anybody else, though. But my tuxedo is pretty observant. I'm a smart kitty. And they were friends too. So. Yeah. Well, just so you don't think I was making it up. Oop. Hey, Scott. Oh, dear God. So, the pink coat underneath it's full. And according to Tiny, that was about probably a third of the PVC pieces that were out in the workshop. Just brought that in as like a beginning. At a certain point, stop acquiring. You're not doing major plumbing work anymore. Your handyman days are pretty much, you know, you might be doing some irrigation stuff for your garden, but you don't need all that. You don't. And I did fill a banker box full of the smaller parts that I know I can use for crafting stuff. Like, I'll show Tiny this. So, what I'm going to do, what you can do, take foam board, cut on the foam board so that you can kind of insert it, glue it, and then before you do that, paint this black, bright red, bright yellow, whatever you want to do to make it look like industrial piping. So if you want to make it, the sewers under Raccoon City, go with a gray or a black. You can slime it up, put some rust or other kind of distressing. Because then, from a scale standpoint, this suddenly isn't just PVC pipe for me and you. This is industrial piping for like a water treatment plant or a heavy-duty conduit, some kind of chemical plant. You want to recreate the chemical factory where the Joker is created in the original Batman movie. Some of these guys in the floor, big vat. You get me? So this is the kind of stuff that I can have my way with. But this is the kind of stuff that I love playing with too. But yeah, sheet of the foam board, basically make it like a component. Plant it on a set, like on a diorama, wherever you need it. But yeah, underground, black, gray, if it's for like more of a city or an industrial building, like a chemical treatment plant or something like that, do like a bright yellow or a bright red and then distress the hell out of it. How many times do you go into a room and you've got to equalize the pressure of the water or the chemicals and the various things so that the little hatch in the wall opens so that you can get the bishop key, the bishop plug, if you know what I'm talking about. And some of you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I got an entire banker box full of pieces like that. I'll have some fun with that. Because I need it to not go cuckoo. I'm going to be working on my library and my lounge. However, in the meantime, I need to get back to doing that a little bit. I've got those 2 booths almost done. I need to wrap them up and then start doing the 3rd booth without taking it apart. Pain in the butt, but okay. That one screw's not cooperating, so just gotta be careful, I need to get back into it, because it helps me. It's been a rough 3 years. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Hug your parents. Hug your kids. It's still not AI. And I am interested in a good coffee endorsement, so, call me. Dunkin' Donuts, Harry and David, the Kauai, that vanilla macadamia Hawaiian company. Starbucks, I like your coffee. If y'all weren't union busting, maybe. But you're playing dirty with your people. I got some of your products and they're good, but don't do your people dirty. Don't do it. So, anyway, I'm not big enough. Probably never will be. Not worried about it. But it's fun to dream. the main takeaway, the main dream there is the idea of somebody sending me free coffee, like free good coffee. That sounds great. That sounds great. You know, case of the week kind of thing. 6 good, 8 12-ounce bags of caramel pecan. Sure. Anyway. Yeah, I'm crazy. Duh. Make it a great day.